Okay, let's get started with our next segment. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Lydiana Mayo, the founder and executive director of Centro N. Sullivan del Peru in Lima, Peru. Dr. Mayo is also professor of Universidad Peruana Cayetano Heredia and the Universidad Católica. Dr. Mayo is also a senior Ashoka Fellow and an adjunct faculty in the University of Kansas. I've known Dr. Mayo since earlier this year when we were both presenting at the India Autism Center conference in Calcutta, India. And I've learned so much from her presentation that she has done really, truly amazing work for neurodiverse individuals. She founded the Centro N. Sullivan del Peru, which serves more than 400 students with different abilities and their families. Dr. Mayo and her team prepares parents to participate directly in their children's education by teaching them to be the best and most consistent teachers. Dr. Mayo and her team also work together with Dr. Judith LeBlanc in the University of Kansas to collaboratively develop the functional natural curriculum model for families and students with different abilities. Dr. Mayo has given lectures and seminars in more than 20 countries. At the United Nations, she has presented her experience of empowering women and girls in rural areas with different abilities through education in Peru. At the World Health Organization, she presented about how people with different abilities can economically and meaningfully support their families in Peru. Because of her amazing work, Dr. Mayo has received numerous awards and recognitions, and I'll name a few of them here. She has received the Medal of Honor of the Congress of the Republic of Peru. She received the Queen Sofia of Spain 1999 Award for Rehabilitation and Integration. She is on the Order of El Sol del Peru in the Commander grade, which is the top honor given by the Peruvian government. She received the Paul Harris Award for her work in Centro and Sullivan del Peru. And she also received the Social Entrepreneurship Award of Peru. She was recently honored by the President of the Dominican Republic with the Christopher Columbus Heraldic Award Order, and also honored by the First Lady of Panama. Academically, she has been honored with honorary degrees from various universities, including University of Kansas had awarded her with the Distinguished Service Citation Award. Dr. Mayo, however, counts the success of the students and families as her greatest award, and she recognizes that it takes a team of professionals and parents to make this success happen. She dreams to make the world an even better place for all people with different abilities. Dr. Mayo's keynote presentation is titled, "How is it that people with autism are economically supporting their families even in the pandemic time?" Without further ado, I'd like to invite Dr. Mayo to give our first keynote speech. And this is kind of the sound effect that I added for our keynote speakers. Dr. Mayo. Please unmute, Dr. Mayo.
Thank you so much. Buenos dias. Good morning. I'm here from Peru and very excited to be in this meeting. Uh, in June last year, I was in a fundraising lunch with these three executives. They were talking, having fun, discussing about their work, having fun. And I was smiling to myself and remembering how they were when they came to the center when they were between 3 to 5 years old. Look at them when they were small. And seeing them now working, supporting their families, make me a smile of happiness. They are working in the best companies in my country, international companies. Ronald is 28 years old. He is working 5 years and at the same time is finishing accounting in the university. Sandro is the person where we start support employment 24 years ago. And I will tell you the story about him. Juan Carlos is working 7 years and supporting their family. We're going to tell you the story of Sandro that happens in terrorism time in my country. When inflation was very high, Sandro was 8 years old, and their family came to talk to me and told me, Dr. Mayo, we cannot bring any more Sandro to school because the inflation is so high and the transportation to buy the bus tickets was so expensive. But I already knew that once when the bus left before the mother could get on, Sandro ride the bus alone and did it very well from the center to his home. So I asked the mother, would it be possible if she could give us permission for Sandro to come alone? And she said yes. But she said, only there's a problem. He is afraid of dogs. And in Peru, there's a lot of dogs in the street, especially where he was going to take the bus. But anyhow, we talked to Sandro, and even he was 8 years old, we told him the importance that we make a decision with him. And the decision was, if you go in that bus alone, you could keep working in the center, you could keep studying in the center, and maybe one day you could work. And at that time, he have very few words, have a lot of stereotypic behaviors. Well, we were waiting for his answer, and finally he said yes. So we asked the parents to put in his shirt a label with all his information. And that day, one of our teachers followed him with a camera. And let's see what we saw the first day he attended. You would see him that he was running, but when he sees the first dog, he stops and he only starts saying, "Get dog out." And but the dog is a little persistent. For the first time, when we watched this video, we saw them uh, walking slowly because he always was running. But as you see him walking, you could see that he might be thinking, is that dog following me or no? He turns, the dog is not following, and then he starts running again. That day, we learned a lot of lessons, and then he took his bus. Poverty pushes us to make them more independent. We learned so much about this experience of Sandra, the significant impact of letting somebody to be independent, to take that decision. We learned a lot And that changed the future of Sandro and our view of how much they can achieve if we let him. At 15 years old, he started working, and right now he's 39. Now, let's see, he lives in a mountain, and he's building his cement house. Now he likes the dogs. Now he's no problem. He eat breakfast with her mom. Before he goes to work, he does his prayers, and then he goes to work. 24 years working in this business, and he likes his work. And all the employees have a special affection for the precision he have in doing it. He is the one working and is the principal contributor to the finances of his home. And also, he's the one that have made all the improvements in his home. But also, when his father the one that paid the medication, the therapist, everything. And he always also pay for his sister's college education. So when I see him voting in general elections for president, when I see them that he's talking in public, that one day he was so afraid, but he's doing it, and that he's saying his opinion. When he tell us about his dream of finishing his cement house, buying a car, or playing the piano, that really make us proud, all our team and his family, because this means that we have together with the family make a good work, but especially because Sandro is our friend, that we have seen him grow through the years. Imagine the story of Sandro is the story of more than 100 Casp workers in more than 40 companies of my country. They work in different areas, in the private sector and in the public sector, in the public and in the private sector. Even we have six working in the Congress of our country. They know all what's going on in our government. Sometimes I tell them, is the president going to be impeached? And they tell me, Dr. Mayo, that's confirmation. And I said to myself, we taught them well. They are hired for quality, not for charity, and they have passion for what they do. For example, Kike broke his leg, and he told me he was bored. He want McDonald's to send him his work to the home, and they did. So we have them working in a variety of jobs. This is Camilo. He is working 3 years in Fridays. He's very precise in how he does it. Yvonne is 23 years. She have go in different jobs, but she is working in a very important a factory of making uniforms. Marvin is working in a big store, and he doesn't read, write, or talk, but he's a very good worker, and especially how they organize all the work that they give them. Gilbert is working in the Four Point Hotel Sheraton. He have to enter data in the computer. He have to organize the files that they give him. And you see Kike, the one that broke his leg that I was telling him, now he's much better, and he loves what he does. He's working 16 years now. Renato is working too in the hotel. He doesn't read, write, or talk, but he is a person that likes to work. Right now, we are in the process of fading his coach. So why do business employ our students? Because they don't gossip, they ask for more work, and they are loyal to the business who employ them. So the researchers of the University of Harvard conducted a study in the most important bank where many of our students work. And they found out that in the departments that they work, the productivity increased in 20%. The employers include them in all the activities, parties, celebrations of birthdays, going out, even playing soccer. They are included in all the activities. 49% have been working 10 or more years. Part-time, we have working, the 49% of our population working and 51% is working 8 hours and having all the benefits like any Peruvian citizen. They work in a real job, a real salary, a real benefits. The minimum wage in Peru is $290. Sandro earns $420, but some workers also receive $2,000 in annual profit sharing. I have never received that amount. So I tell them, remind them to never forget the center that educates us and that remember that gratitude is the memory of the heart and that they donate to the center when they can. Sandro convinced the CEO of his business to donate a classroom for us. But they are not only financial providers, they are also caregivers. And you see, Javier, he doesn't, he's helping her mother. He pays for the medication, but he always is also is responsible for his medication. And let's see Javier helping her mother. He is more than 15 years working in a resource business. And right now, with the pandemic, we have several of our students have their parents with COVID-19. And you can imagine how much we have learned, how they take care of them. This is Gustavo. He's 28 years old, 10 years working. And when her mother got COVID, he really take good care of her, reminding her about the medication, the drinking water. And the mother said how important was that he took care of her. That was what made her better. So to all our students that support their parents in the pandemic time, helping them, we give them an award called I'm With You, Mother, You Can. It's very interesting. All what their parents do with them, then they do it with them too. So our students work for many years. They are financial providers and also caregivers. These have called the attention of international organizations like the World Health Organization and the United Nations, where we have talked twice. But how the pandemic have affected us right now? First, Peru is now facing the largest drop in gross domestic product of any major economy with a 30% drop from the previous years as a result of the government coronavirus measurements, but also the result of persons that have lost their job. Almost 7 million persons have lost their job for the pandemic. Our population is 33 millions, so that have impact us very much. Also, the deaths of COVID per capita in Peru is, as you see in this slide, is the worst in the world. But we are in the center. We see crisis too as opportunities. We have learned a lot. Employers during the pandemic are in contact with our students, their employees of Casp, always are calling how they are doing, and they consult in the center if they have to take a major decision, like for ending their work, they consult us. How do we do this? What steps we are going to take? So this is the work status of Casp students during the pandemic. 89% are furloughed but expected to return to work. As you see, the business, we are very surprised because they have ended the contract of many people, but that 91% of our students still are maintaining a job and they are paying them. That's very good. 90% are unpaid. Sandro is one of them. He's 5 months without receiving a salary, and he's the primary contributor for the financial in his home. We have 12% that have been laid off, especially the ones that work in tourism or hotels that have been impacted, and 5% have returned to work. Explaining when a business alert us or tell us we are going to end the contract of these students, we call our student. This is Juan Carlos. We call him, we talk to him. Here with our director of in work inclusion, we explained him that they were not going to rehire, they're going not to continue with the business. He cried, he got very emotional. Let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy because he was upset because he loved what was doing, he liked his job, and he had friends too. So the only thing that got better the situation was that his other coworkers called him, tell him how sorry they were, and that even they make a basket of for him with all different kind of foods that they know he likes. But others that are working and are waiting for returning to work, all these are siblings are making some business in their house, like making masks or making or selling food, but they are maintaining themselves busy. We have to make 108-degree change because we have to change everything to online. But we have been able to do it successfully to keep giving the support to our students, to our families, and to all the services we give in the center. When we were implementing the online training, there were several students, families that didn't have a mobile phone, computer, and even food. So we have a support committee of ladies that's very strong and help us to find all the things, even they were secondhand or, but we make it work. And now they could participate in all the training from where they are. We find too, pardon me, during this time, solidarity is very important. Mothers that work with COVID-19 or students, how they help each other during this time. I think there was a lot of good things that we observe, even how they facilitate the internet. So we do the education online. So you could read here, you could see that teacher is in Zoom and teaching the parents. Remember, we go 4 times a year to the homes of the parents. So our parents have been prepared for this time because they know what to do. We do the groupal training too. And also, this is a training, for example, with all our students that are employed, and they work, they come to the center every 15 days because how the business are right now, they require another skills, or or the persons in the company tell them we are going to change them to another position, and he needs to work and have these skills. So how we have achieved the success of all our workers? There are 3 key strategies for that success. That we believe that treat me as a person, to have high expectations, concentrate in their abilities. Second, prepare them for life with a functional natural curriculum, and what we call the power of 2, families and professionals working together. High expectations for us is very important. Everybody in the center knows, the students, the staff, the families know that the 3 objectives that we want with every student that develops his maximal potential, so could be independent, productive, and happy. And always we said, have high expectations and they will surprise you. So when we teach this to the parents, one of a parent, this is the Martin and his mother, and the mother told me, Dr. Mayo, I suffer from colics and I need somebody to put me an injection. And you always told us to believe in our son or daughter, give them opportunities. And I have teach Martin to put the injections. And that's what you would see that he's very good putting the injections to his mother. Even he have a lot of diabetic patients that he takes care.
Bien, Martín, se me quita el dolor, Martín. Mucho cólico me da, Martín. Eso me alivia el dolor.
When she told me, I was surprised because Martin have a lot of stereotypic behaviors, but when he's putting injections, he's very precise. This mother, during the pandemic, she doesn't have one kid in the spectrum of autism. She have the three of kids, the twins and the little girl. They are between 3 and 5 years old. And you know, she involved them in building a wall with the grandfather. So you would see in the video how she gives them instructions and how she reinforced them during this time of pandemic. We are so happy that she can involve them in all of these things. So we not only create in in our students, in the parents, in this all the stuff we know about these three objectives. We teach the parents since our students are very young to focus on their abilities, to be detective of the abilities, to send us pictures, photos, videos. This is Josue. At 3 years old, he was putting all the pencils in line and making bridges. And you know, when we examined this, it was all the road that he went in the bus. When he grew, he improved in pencil and paper, and he did it three-dimensional. And now he's doing it in the computer. He likes that. So we identify what is the ability that each of the kids have. And then the second strategy is prepare them for life. We teach them with a functional natural curriculum developed by Dr. Judy LeBlanc from the University of Kansas. We want to prepare them for life, that they learn all the skills that they're going to need for being independent and happy. So you could see right now, before I present the video, we teach the parents how important, since they are small, that they learn responsibility, working in a team, that they feel that they contribute to the house, and that also that we could see how they do the chores in the home. Maybe that's a future career that they are going to like. So we're going to present you our champion of chores. He is 4 years old, and he is doing right now 36 chores. I'm not going to present the 30 chores, but let me give you a demonstration of Flavio. What appears in the translation is what her mother is telling her. We have to take the audio because if not, it was in conflict with the subtitles. But he's learning to put the microwave. He's learning to do the laundry. He's learning to take the garbage out and throw it. He's learning to do his cupcakes. And then he's going out because he's going to share what he's doing with a person that works in his home. So since they are little, we're teaching them to be independent. And our classrooms are not only in the center, but in all the community. If we're teaching mathematics or coin, they have to go to practice in the community. That's what we have to make an analysis of all the places that are in our community, the business. Remember, we have a student that was working in Fridays, where Fridays is very close to us. All the fast food restaurants are close to us. There's another ones, but all those are places for us to practice for our students. those we train for in the businesses when they are from 14 to 17 years old. We train our students in the businesses that are around, and the mothers help us to be coaches of our students. They offer volunteer, and they told me, and they when I asked them why you want to be a volunteer coach, and they said me because I want to learn when my son have the age of working, what skills he's going to require. For our students that they are not verbal, we teach them how to answer an interview in pictures, in where they make them the practice, and then we teach the employer to interview them with the pictures, and they do it. Oh, we have to teach them the Peruvian transportation. It's crazy, our traffic, but they have to learn. Right now, 58% require support still to get to work, but 42% are independent. We prepare our students for change. Change is a characteristic of our century, and their schedules are going to change. The ones that work in a Starbucks, their schedule change every week. And there's a Lindley, that is Coca-Cola and Inca Cola in our country. They change every 2 weeks. They have to go a schedule in the morning, then in the afternoon, and then in the night, as you can see. And what we have learned is that they adapt. The third strategy is the power of two. Work in a team with the family. And that's what we call it. Because if we work in a team, then our students are going to advance faster. We always are focused that in generalization and maintenance, that what they learn it with different person situations, and that they remember. So this is how our School of Families look before the pandemic. Is continuous educations to the family, but now in COVID, we're doing it by Zoom. And let me give you only an idea how it looks, our School of Family. Imagine when we teach, we have more like 500 connections in the internet. And we are, a hugging society. So we tell them always to give a hug, because we celebrate every day that we are with health. Right now, we are 7 months and 250 days that we are in that crisis. But what we have found, and we give them examples, how we are teaching our students to shave, how they are now doing improvements in the house. Josue is a 15-year-old and is helping in the house. First, they have a general meeting where we have all the 500 persons together. And after that, they are divided in 17 rooms. So they, according to the age of their son, they are going to meet with their specialists. Right now, they have passed to the small room where they could, it's for 50 persons, and that's something that that they discuss more specific to the age of our student. Look the difference between the attendance of parents between the year 2019 and 2020. And we feel that it's because right now we go directly to the home, all the family is there, they don't have to go out, and we're so happy to have a level of attendance of 90% for 10 sessions with parents participated each 15 days is very high. We think that we are the largest school of families that at least we know in the world, but it's because we work families are partners, they are part of our team. And it's that we go to their homes, but some parents work in the street. The example I'm going to put is Juan Pablo. Her mother sell pastries in the street, and she told us, give me the training so Juan Pablo would help. At the beginning, you're going to see he break all the bags, but now he's doing it okay. Let's watch.
Los banquitos, sí. Límpialo, Juancita, límpialo. Otro, hermanito, no lo sueltes.
He said, thank you, gracias, because we teach them that always they have to say, be gentlemen, say, please, thank you, because that is going to open doors. But these have changed. Seeing the smile of that mother, of that student, makes all the happiness in the world, because before she even didn't bring him to work with him, and now he is doing it. So when this training we give to the family and to the students have permitted us to do a multiplicative effect of training the family. Our students teach with us in universities. Our students are doing long distance education with us, and they travel. When we do long distance educations, we do it for all our country and for all other countries in Latin America or in the world. Traveling with him, in Peru, parents tell me, don't only talk, show me. So right now, the team is formed from one mother or father with his son and two specialists. We have given them voice to them. So these are the three strategies that are very important for the success of our students. I start this project 41, not project, a dream that I have in the garage of my home when nobody could give me a place where to start. With 8 students, we start. Now we have more than 400, and all what you see is donated. We are happy that our model is expanding in many places in the world. But many persons tell our staff many times it's not possible. And what we have learned and we have shown our students, our families, our staff, that when you have passion for your work, when you work in a team, when you persist, everything is possible. And 41 years ago, I thought I was the teacher of Sandro, and he was the student. But now I am the student, and he's my teacher. I am continue learning of how much they can achieve if you believe in them and give them the opportunity, and they will surprise you. Muchas gracias, amigos. Thank you so much. And we wait you in Peru whenever our borders are going to be open again. Muchas gracias. And I thank you, Dr. Lawrence Foon, for inviting us. I think I thought that Calcutta in India was going to be our last conference, because I have never fly back after that time. But we are very happy to join you, and have been an honor in the name of my staff to thank you and all your staff that have prepared. And we are learning from all your organization that maybe one day we do the same in Peru. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Liliana. Oh, and here's Dr. Fung. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank you. And it is quite a privilege that we have Dr. Mayo share the inspirational stories. So please, Christy, I'll just step away for you to moderate.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. I absolutely loved the stories you were sharing. It's so inspiring to see them. And I see from our questions that we have some similar responses from people watching. And I'd just like to share, people were so happy to see your international voice represented here, and I think that probably echoes the sentiment of many of us. So we're so thrilled to have you, and it seems like the audience was happy to see your voice here today. There were a few questions. One was about how do you accept and find your students?
Well, we are other professionals talk to them. We are in the media, several, we have in the journalists, in the conference or in TV. So people know about us, and we are very active too in the networking. So that's how our students find us. And I think right now that with this pandemic and that our training is online is very interesting because we have students from different parts of Latin America. We hope to have Hispanic population from California one day, parents that would like to have that experience, or a student or persons that would like to see how to be in a classroom with other students. I think that's going to be something that is facilitating the training online.
Thank you. We also had a question, another one related to schools and students. Do regular public schools accept students with neurodiversities or autism disorder spectrum?
Yes, we right now, the law have been given in Peru is mandatory for the government schools, but not so much for the private. But we have more than 50, 60 students with autism or other developmental disabilities that are in regular schools included. We have students in the universities too. We have one that is student interpretation and translation. So we are working too for inclusion in universities. So, and we are very strong in training regular teachers. We have a whole approach how to do inclusion in the correct way, because sometimes maybe in the regular school, they don't teach them the functional part. And as our students that are working come every 15 days, the same our students that are included in regular schools. We have a program called peer tutoring where the students that help us with our for our students that are included in regular schools, we even train them more. So I think Peru is more open, but still the teachers need to hide their expectations of what people can achieve. And that's the role of the center, disseminate how much they could learn. And sometimes it's not the problem that they are not learning. Sometimes it's more the teacher problem, how they are teaching to them.
Yes, thank you. And for the schools, it sounds like they're public schools. We have a question about whether there is tuition for the students or whether the schools are publicly funded.
The schools from the government are free. The center is a private center, so 60% of our students are in a scholarship, and we have a social workers, so they could determine how much they have to pay according to what their parents work. So they pay in our center, they pay according to their economic situation. That makes it harder for us because we have to do a lot of fundraising so we could keep not only the teaching of the student, but the teaching of the family. We do both. There's an IEP for the student and there's an IEP for the family. So the scholarship is for the student and the parents.
Great, thank you. And that leads to, we do have one more question on funding, which is how you keep the program funded and operating.
We keep the funding. We have a support committee that help us to make that. They do a lot of activities. So during the year to find persons that could donate to our center. Second, we give a conference or organize workshop where we could have some income too. And we try to write 2 grants. And we are not being very successful right now because everybody says that is not in a good situation, but we are always trying to find ways to maintain the doors open. This is one of the most difficult years for our center because we have to reduce the salary of our teachers, and we feel our parents, that even the ones that are paying sometimes are having are unemployed right now. But we have hope. We are always, I'm a radical optimist that we are going to maintain our operation going. We are always knocking a door, and during this year we have learned that a no is a slow way of yes.
That is wonderful. And your radical optimism comes through, and I can see it in some of the comments people are making. People are feeling really energized and hopeful by what you've been talking with us about this morning. And one of the questions is, are there efforts underway to replicate the Casp model in other locations?
Yes, right now in Panama have a center in Sullivan, the same Brazil and Argentina. And I think the country that is more interested in the replication right now is Bangladesh. So, it's a country so far away, but we don't speak their language, their culture. But what people want is what gives results. How I can do the same that my son or daughter could work, and if something happened to me, they have an income, or they could be independent. So we're making this project work thanks to the Shushona Foundation, lead by a leader in autism that is Saima Hossein. So I think that those are the countries that we that now want to replicate more strong the model. But I hope in the future there are more, and that's where when we replicate and we train, that's another income for us. So in any of the audience have some ideas, please let us know.
Thank you. And I do have a question here about your work with families. And this question is, have you been able to train any families in the Altiplano? And I may not be pronouncing that correctly.
Yes, we have trained all Latin America, and very, I think parents, what they want is that hear other parents telling the story. That's what, when we travel, we have a project right now called Mother to Mother, where the mother or the father travel with their son to remote areas to teach with us. So the team is 4 people, mother, son, and what they show is that they demonstrate what they can do. That is a more effective way, I think, to teach with the model of what other parents have done. So if you would like to contact us, and if you tell us a special place in the Altiplano, we'll tell you if we have been there. But almost they enter, and if they are not in contact with us, they could participate in our long distance conferences that we have all the year. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. And one final question we have is, it sounds like there was some interest in the Harvard study you referenced, and people were asking, were you able to share the link to the Harvard study you referenced, the one regarding productivity and loyalty?
Okay, I could send you, Christy, the link. I don't have it right now, but
Yeah.
And if they write me directly to this link, I could send it immediately.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for participating this morning and for taking some time to answer questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Font, Christy, and all our friends. Muchas gracias, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Mayo. It's really an honor to learn about your program, and I hope there are many more collaborations that we can do in the future, and hopefully help you also spread the model that you have built so successfully. over the years. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.